Everybody, this is On Screen Off Screen, a show where we like to talk about our media's intake throughout the week, how it impacts us, and how we impact what we're consuming. We've got Lauren Conlon and myself all here this week, which is super, super awesome. Hopefully, Conlon can get through a sentence without freezing. Lauren, I'm so excited about your topic. I would love to hear about it.
Okay, surprise everybody. I have not gotten off my Harry Potter kick. I've been like on a Harry Potter kick for like a solid 7 months now. It's been a while. And I don't think I'm getting off. So um I decided the other couple of days ago, Monday, Monday, um, that I was rereading a fanfic, and they were in the part of the Prisoner of Azkaban, and so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch the Prisoner of Azkaban because, funny enough, I don't think I watched that one as much as the others. For whatever reason, and
You
my
just
co-hosts
don't
are
like
gonna.
watching the only good movie?
No, I love
Just
it,
one.
but for whatever reason, whenever I want to watch Harry Potter, and you guys are gonna hate this, I always start with the fourth one.
So we figured out why she likes fanfic. She just likes like the bad stuff of Harry Potter. I'm just kidding, Lard.
It's I really like the Triwizard Tournament. Sue me, don't sue me. I don't have a lot of money. And so I really like the fourth one. I know you guys are like plot holes, doesn't make sense. I'm a vibe
Terrible.
watcher. I don't care. There's dragons. There's mermaids. There's Cedric Diggory. Josh.
To be clear, my issue with the fourth one isn't a plot hole, because I don't have any plot holes with the fourth one. My issue with the fourth one is there is no plot. There is no character development. We have Cedric, and he's just there, and I'm supposed to care that he dies. And, like, we didn't develop this character. That's my problem with the fourth one. Is like, yeah, the Triwizard stuff, it's fun, it's epic, there's dragons. And then we're supposed to have this big emotional moment of, like, the confirmation that Voldemort returned and he killed a student. And I sit there and I go, I don't
Don't
care.
care.
That's my
It's the
problem with the fourth
Brandon.
one.
Yeah, it's the Brandon Mole problem of he introduces a character just to kill them, so he doesn't have to kill off his main characters. Which I agree 1000%. I don't care that Cedric died in the movies. This fanfic, other anyway, that's a different topic. But I like. In fact, there's like the joke of the like my boy or whatever, and I always made jokes about that. And they're like, "Take my body back" or whatever, and it was always just a joke. Not after that fanfic though. Oh my gosh. Anyway, back to Harry Potter Prisoner of Azkaban. I like I said, I haven't seen this one as much, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna actually like sit down, gonna make myself some hot chocolate with my butterbeer cold foam. I'm gonna have a night of it. And so I told Josh that I was going to well, first I asked him if I should play Hogwarts Legacy or if I should do my little movie night I had planned. He's like, you should do the movie night. And I was like, okay. And he's like, what's your address? And I was like, you planning on coming over? Like, it'll be in 14 hours. And he was like, no. And he had sent me some Harry Potter gummies for my little Harry Potter night. And it made my night. It was like, it
That's really cool,
was,
Josh.
yeah, it was really awesome. And it was funny because I was kind of like in and out of sleep because my hot chocolate just like conked me out. And then he texts and he's like, "You should check your door." I was like, so I got up. I was like, "Woo, I got some gummies."
So,
So
to be fair, I was trying to send her these, which I got from Costco last week. And I started eating these, and I was like, I wonder if Lauren would like these. Because they say they're butterscotch flavored, but to me, they're butter flavored with sugar on top. And I was like, they're so weird. And I just keep eating them. And then she's like, I'm having this Harry Potter movie night with the best Harry Potter movie. And so I go on to Costco and I type in her address, and it says that Costco even has it at her Costco. So I was like, cool. And then it was like, you have to spend $30 for delivery. So I was like, okay. And Harry Potter, I think it was like a Lego set or something. And I went check out, and they're like, this store, you can't deliver from this store. And I was like, they must be closed because of the time difference or whatever. What a bummer. So I even told her, I was like, I was going to try and send you these things, but it won't let me deliver. That sucks. And then I had a brilliant idea of, let's just see if some other store happens to have this thing. And Smith's happens to have this thing, and I can DoorDash it to her. And again, it was like, if I spent $8, I would send 10. I would save $10 on delivery. So I was like, add the fruit snacks in there because I'd rather pay for something than nothing. And then the guy gets there and he's like, goldfish aren't here, and I already left. And I was like, but I got the fruit snacks. And I was like, okay, whatever. We're done now. We'll just leave it. So I'm glad you got it and you liked it. But this was the intent. That was the whole purpose of that dumb story. Was that I wanted her to try these.
Which now I'm looking for them in stores so that I can try them.
Smith's carry.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty good.
But I really like the gummies. Like they have really good flavors. It's like passion fruit, lemonade, fruit punch. Like, cause you know how sometimes you get them and there's like one flavor that you're like, meh, so you have to eat it in a handful, so you can't you mask the taste. No, they're all bangers. So, I really like them. Anyway, Prisoner of Azkaban, 10 out of 10. My experience with Prisoner of Azkaban, 10 out of 10. It was a good time.
I'm glad you agree that it's the best movie. I'm gonna pretend that that's what you meant when you said 10 out of 10 because that is the best movie. Okay, let's go ahead and go over to Conlon and I's shared topic. I'll go and then we'll have Conlon go on it. The movie is Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. This is a movie that I was pretty much looking forward to. Uh, Lauren hated it, but both Conlon and I were like, this is really close to something that could have been really great, but we still really liked it. And so the second one comes out. And the second one completely lost all of its magic. Um, it basically took the if you were to divide the first movie up into fifths, it would take the fourth fifth of that movie and made it the whole movie, right? Because in the first one, you have the build up, the anticipation, the fear, the trying to get away, and then you have this action sequence, and then you have the end. And it all kind of goes along. And in this one, it's like all just the action sequence. But they tried to mix it in with her still being like afraid and stuff and wrapping in her sister. And it's like, if they would have just made John Wick meets Ready or Not and have her be John Wick, I would have loved that movie. I would have been like, she comes in here, we've got this new plot, we've got Frodo trying to be the lawyer or whatever, and she just comes in and she's like, I'm sick of this shit, and she starts being badass. I'd have been like, great action movie, great. But they still kind of wanted it to be a horror movie, I guess, and it was like, you're not developing any of this, you're not letting it build, there's no build up because we already did this, so you rush straight into the action, and it lost everything that was good about the other one and didn't do anything new to make it its own. So for me, this is like a perfect like 5 out of 5 quote unquote horror movie where like nothing happens. They took the exploding thing that I didn't like from the first one and they made it a running gag. And I'm like, You could just not do that. You know, you could just be like, oh, people didn't like that. Let's not do that. But instead, they're like, let's just keep doing it over and over and over again. Okay, guy. Don't know why you did that, but that's what you did. So,
I I was looking up the cast and Catherine Newton, the sister. I don't know why I thought it was Sabrina Carpenter.
They look a lot alike.
they do look a lot alike.
Okay. Okay, that makes me feel better because there are some actors that I've been like, these two look the same, and people are like, are you on crack? I'm like, maybe, I don't know. Because I'm like, they look identical to me. Okay, good. I'm glad that we could get a consensus that she looks like Sabrina.
She does.
Okay, Colin, what did you think of Ready or Not? Here I come.
Okay. My first line was I thought this was a pretty large step down from the first movie. And there's a lot of reasons why. I think Josh touched on quite a few of them. There is a show called Happy Death Day. I am a huge fan. I really, really like it. I think it's an underrated horror comedy. It's really good. The second movie I also really like, but they completely shift it. And I think that Josh hit the nail on the head when he said this one should have been shifted. I would have liked actually a time jump. So instead of basically the events are over, we're starting this movie, you have a year. And she's like, I'm never doing that shit ever again. She gets acquitted of all of her stuff because she was in self defense, that kind of a thing. Because there's no way she killed the entire household. That's absolutely ridiculous. No way. Didn't happen. But she has an entire year where she's like, I'm going to train every single day for martial arts. This is never happening again. I'm doing judo. I'm doing shooting, whatever the heck I'm going to do. And then she goes full blown John Wick, wrecks everybody. That would have been really cool. And you could have also turned up the quality of the people that she's fighting against at that point instead of her just getting kind of like lucky again over and over again, which I didn't really like. It felt like she got lucky like she did the first time, but it wasn't as charming or as witty or anything. It just wasn't that good. The acting isn't that good, and I was disappointed by that because of the sister. The sister is in Annabelle, which is also filmed by the same director that filmed the first one of these movies and this one. In Annabelle, she is fantastic. She's really, really well. She's really great. She does a good job with the acting. In this movie, she's kind of an annoying character that I don't really like very much. And if they just killed her off, I wouldn't really care. I kind of felt like that with the main girl too. In the first movie, you have the time to enjoy the character before everything goes to crap. In this one, it's immediately, oh, we're in another bad situation where people's heads are exploding and people need to die and she has to survive, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't have time for any kind of real development. It's just death and carnage again. And then my last thing was, so the problem that started this whole movie was she got into a wedding. And they played a game because she was going to get married. And the way that she solves the problem is by marrying some random dude. Okay. I thought that was so stupid. I thought it was like so dumb. The wedding itself was kind of cool. Kind of liked it. But the idea that the way that we get out of this problem is by getting married is just dumb. Hey, okay, we're not going to play this game. I'm just going to marry your son, and then I've married one of the royal families, and we're all good, right? Devil satisfied? Sweet. End of the first movie. It would have been done. It was just a stupid concept. Doesn't make any sense for the entire point of the show. I am not a 5 on this. I don't think it's terrible. I think there are some good moments in it. I'm going to give it a 3, but it's just not a good movie. It's not worth watching. Just watch the first one.
Totally fair. The married thing didn't really bother me. Uh, it just is what it is. The ending bothered me because, like, she throws the ring into the pit. And basically,
Yeah.
all these people have 10 minutes to get the ring, so they start fighting over it to kill each other. And I'm like, in 10 minutes, you're telling me nobody got that ring on? The final survivor didn't put the ring on in 10 minutes. The average fight is like 2 minutes. And you're telling
Yeah.
me nobody got to this ring? Like, if I were her, I would have been like, I order you all to stand perfectly still for 20 hours. And then I would take the ring off and be like, and I give up my power. And then I just, they all just sit there and watch as nothing happens.
Yep.
And then the devil kills them all because nobody got the ring and he's mad or whatever. And
You're
then,
telling me Elijah Wood was fighting for
no, he
Rachel.
just stood there. That's
No.
my other thing that bothered me. He didn't kill anybody.
Yeah.
He just stood there, and then he's like, nobody did. It doesn't say anything in the bylaws about what to do if somebody gives up the power. And then he leaves. He just backs out, and he's like, "You're good. You can leave. You're free now."
Should have thrown in a volcano,
Yeah.
I'm
but
like,
whatever.
so yeah,
Actually, that's crazy. I didn't even think about the ring thing with it being Elijah Wood. I don't know why I didn't think about that, but that's so. Oh man, it's so dumb.
yeah,
It was just a dumb movie.
it's not very good. But I like. There's worse. You know,
There's worse.
there is worse. That's why I put it as a 5. It's like I didn't hate it. There are things I didn't like about it, but like I didn't sit there and go, "This is a plot hole," or "This makes me angry," or "I hate this." It was just like, oh, what could have been, and that's like a 5 to me. I was what could have been. I think the same thing about what with Black Panther. It's like what could have been. You know, if they had a good plot or interesting stuff or unique stuff or anything original, that it's the way that it is. So, okay, let's move on to your next topic because I have a feeling I know what you're going to say. So,
Yeah, you're right. My next topic is Mario 2. And this, I wrote, this is literally the most forgettable movie I have ever seen in my entire life. I literally watched it. I was done with the movie. 15 minutes later, I was like, oh crap, I got to come up with some topics for the podcast. What should I watch? I had 100% forgot that this movie existed. I forgot I had just watched it. I didn't remember a thing about it. Then I was like, oh, damn, I just watched that movie. What was it about? It's not very good. Basic premise of the story is you've got Princess Peach's sister, who is Rosaletta, whatever her name is. I don't even remember. And she tells stories to her star children because she can have star children, I guess, about her sister who disappeared and doesn't remember she has a sister. So this main character that we're supposed to care about is just letting her sister wander around in the wilderness without knowing that she has family because she sucks. Main character sucks. Stupid character. And then Princess Peach is like, I don't have a family. Where's my family? And then she has this memory of the time where she got taken away and how she has a sister. Yay, she has a sister. So she's going to find her sister. And Mario is in love with Princess Peach and is going to help Princess Peach save her sister and is chasing her the whole entire time. Like, I don't even like using this word, but like a simp, like a little whiny simp. And then there's Yoshi, who is around and says, hi, I'm Yoshi, multiple times. And then there's Pretty Colors, and Bowser goes from being little Bowser to being big Bowser, and he changes his ways until the very end where he's like, oh, you have a super powerful, oh, son, you have a super powerful planet that can destroy everything. Cool, I guess I'm bad again. Yay. And then at the very end, they fort Bowser again, and Princess Peach and her sister are together. Yay. And literally, I got to the end of the movie and I was like, oh, it's over? Okay. This is not a good movie. This is not a movie worth watching. The first Mario movie, I think, is okay. People like it more than I do. I basically watched this because I saw some reviewers who were like, this is better than the first one. And I was like, okay, cool. I kind of like Mario. Let's give it a shot. It's not. This is not a better movie. This is not a movie worth your time. This is not a movie worth anyone's time. This is not a movie worth sharing to your children. This is not how I want Mario represented. This is just not good. I'm giving it a 2. because the colors are pretty. That's it.
That's too bad.
Yes, it's really not good.
I'm very curious who said that this movie was good.
It was one of the two Australian. I've shown you videos for him before.
The Grumps
Australian
guys?
reviewers that actually like them. What?
The Grumps guys?
No. What is their names?
Because I have not heard anything positive about this movie. I have only heard what I said about this movie. No plot
Oh, really?
development happens. They feel like they have to, and the creators of the movie said that they were concerned about the attention span of the intended audience, so they had to put in something every 3 minutes was their goal.
The Mr. Sunday movies guys.
Okay,
Yeah, one of those two.
I'm shocked by that. I've not heard anything good about this movie, but
Yeah, it's not good. They should stop. Like it was, it's not good. Anyway, yeah.
all right. With that, we'll go ahead and hit my second topic. I am so excited about this topic. It is Apex. It's a movie that came out this year. It is not a super well known movie, uh, but it came across one of my YouTube channels or TikToks where people say, like, this is an obscure movie that you should check out. Um, this one came up and it was like, there were 3 movies that came out today. This is what I think of them. And I remember watching this and being like, oh, it has Taron Egerton in it. That was my selling point. And I forgot what this movie was about. And then yesterday I was like, it's got Taron Egerton. We're going to turn it on. And 8 minutes into it, I was like, I texted my little brother and I was like, you have to watch this movie. It has the most compelling, like, rock climbing sequence I have seen in anything. It was extraordinary. And then it became not about rock climbing at all. It became something else. And I texted him like, "Oh, this is not what I thought it was, but you should still watch it because I think it would be his kind of movie still, just in a completely different way." Um, I don't want to give away the plot. I think that this is a movie best watched not knowing what the general premise is in it. Um, just because of how it sets everything up. But it is kind of more horror thriller esque. This is not my favorite of his movies, but this is my favorite Taron Egerton performance. He does a
Okay.
fantastic job in this role.
Better than Blackbird?
That would be close. It would be one of those
Damn.
two. I don't know
Wow.
which one I would prefer, but like Blackbird, far better show than this movie is. The Kingsman, far better movies than this movie is. But like
Okay.
his performance, I was sitting there like he deserves an Oscar for this. This is like crazy good performance by him. Um,
Wow.
like I said, it's not the best movie. There are issues with it, but I still had a really good time with it. Um, Conlon, you should watch it. I could see you going either way on this one. Lauren, this is not your kind of movie. Don't waste your time. You would be like, what the freak is this garbage? You would come on and you'd be like, Josh, you're an idiot. This movie sucks. Uh,
I did see a meme of where it's like he's acting crazy and then he like barks at Charlize Theron.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in it too? Cool.
hmm
Yeah.
It's just I've been loving those memes. It's been all over.
I haven't seen anything about it. Like I remember watching the video, knowing what it was about, forgetting what it was about, and then watching it and being like, "Holy crap! This like the opening sequence." Lauren, you should watch the opening sequence because it is fantastically shot. They're climbing. It reminds me very much of Summit of the Gods. They're climbing the face of this ice mountain. It's her and her partner. and they're having discussions about whether or not to go back, and it's beautiful and it's gorgeous. It just turns into a very different movie after that. um, but yeah, I'm going to give it an 8.5. I would absolutely watch this movie again.
Okay.
It has gotten me into a mood to watch more kind of like horror stuff this week, so I think next week I'll be talking about some more horror stuff. um, it's not the best, it's not the most original. I just personally enjoyed this one a lot, and I do think Taron Egerton and his performance, and Charlize Theron, I know her from The Italian Job, also does a great performance in this one too. Um, but yeah, Conlon, absolutely watch this one. I'm
Okay.
very
I will.
curious.
This one. That sounds super interesting to me. I literally only knew that Taryn was in this too, and literally I was going to watch this movie because
Yeah,
of that. And that's the only thing I knew.
if you can avoid any kind of plot stuff, because like I thought it was very beneficial to not know anything about it going into it.
Okay, cool. I won't look it up.
All right. With that, I think that's it. So let's go ahead and hit our shared topic, which is Dungeon Crawler Carl Book 8. Lauren, I'm most excited to hear from you, so let's get started.
Well, I had a lot of hype on TikTok because I hadn't listened to it immediately as it came out. So of course there's some other people who to it immediately before it came out. And they made it sound like it was going to be like the saddest one yet. And so like I kept like waiting for that shoe to drop, and it didn't. And so I think I was like a little bit like, I'm not as traumatized as I thought I should be. and um it like I did like the Mad Max type deal of like the races and them like trying to make sure that they wouldn't get in heats with other crawlers, trying to like save that. I was listening to this at work, so I think I might have missed some explanations on things because I think this was um, the first book that I was like, I'll trust your math, Matt Dinneman, but I have no idea how you're getting people out of the game. I know you just spent a lengthy time explaining it with the Roomba, but I was like, I'm not understanding how this works. Um, and but like I like. I don't know if I like all of the singing that is in this book yet or not. I feel like that was just Matt trolling Jeff Hayes, which I can appreciate. I think it's funny. So that's why I don't know if I like it or not, because it almost seems like fourth wall breaking. But then I'm like, that would be something that the AI would do to like Carl. So, um, I don't know. I like this book, but do I think that because I feel like the Dungeon Crawler Carl series kind of went like exponentially up for me. And I feel like since the last book, it's kind of plateaued. So it's still great. Love this series. But I didn't feel like it hit. I'm scared that it's not going towards more personal things anymore and that it keeps getting more um like more gods, like, and of course that's how the dungeon works. It's going to be more gods, more that type of thing, but it seems like it's starting to get too big. And then because it feels like we're going outside of the dungeon really quick. And I know that it's supposed to be a 10 book series, so we have, was this the 8th book or the 7th?
So this
This was
is
book
the
8.
eighth book. There is going to be 9 books, but it's going to be 9 part 1 and 9 part 2. And he's going to write it all in as one book and pick the biggest cliffhanger and end part 1 there.
Mm. Okay, so yeah, so we, that makes me feel better knowing that it's wrapping up. Because I was like, he just opened up all of the floors, so they can get out for the first time in like crawler history. But he also said the thing of like, the thing about like exits is there also entrances, and I was like, what's coming in? Like,
I think it's
what
going
are
to
you
be
gonna do?
Katya. I
Mm,
think Katya is coming back in through the 18th floor.
yeah, because it did mention a lot of like the what is it called? The natives or whatever are fighting back, but it's like not really a fight because they don't have a lot of technology. Um, yeah, I enjoyed it. I'll probably re-listen to it again when I can actually pay more attention to it, and I'm not just trying to hurry and push through it for a podcast. um, yeah, I didn't feel like there was too much because like I wanted more stuff with like Carl and the river in his head, and I didn't really get that at all. Like he snapped at some um NPCs that killed some of his guys, but I feel like we've had more of like a constant of the river in other books than we had in this one. And so, yeah, there's just a little things I felt like got left behind a little bit, but it's still a great book.
What is your rating?
I would say 8 out of 10.
I think that's going to be an excellent segue into mine, so I'm going to go next. I agree with everything Lauren just said, but I view it a little bit more positively. Um, Back when we read book 7 and it was the ninth floor, I said that if the series ended there, I would be okay with it because everything was kind of building towards the ninth floor. Right? Was Donut going to be able to survive the ninth floor? How was Factions Wars going to work out? That was the big kind of push through, and it kept coming up over book after book after book after book. Um, Now we're out of this book, that book, into the next book. And Matt Dinneman has said he wants to, as things get more progressively powerful, he has to tell more personal stories. So I do have full faith that he is going in that direction. But this is kind of a down book um, in terms of progression and excitement and everything. But the way I am viewing that is it's a reset. We're having a second book one because now everything's changing. Everything was building towards the ninth floor. Now we're beyond that. So we have to have a new set. These are the characters we're now dealing with. This is the world we're now dealing with. We have to reset and build around all of these new ideas. Um, so there just can't be a lot of that excitement, explosions, Carl doing a bunch of stuff, XYZ, whatever. Because it was just like ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, ramp up. And now we got to be like, okay, now we have to reset because we have a bunch of um, crawlers taking deals. We have this way out of the dungeon. We have this pocket dimension stuff. Um, So it's a down book. But because it is a down book, I'm saying it's an extremely positive 7. Because, like, I don't find myself, like, wanting to re listen to this one the way I did the other ones. This is one to me where it's like, I know what happens, and now that I know what happens, what is my incentive to re listen to this book? I don't have a strong one personally, because it's like, the other ones are so like ramp up, so much going on, so exciting. Maybe I miss some details. This one, not many details to miss. We know the AI is going crazy. We know he's glitching out. We know that there's the pocket dimension. We know there's the way to get out of the dungeon. We know that he pulls the monster. So it's like, okay, great. My favorite part about this one is Prepotente and like, his really wanting companionship was the most exciting, awesome part about this book. Ellie and him like riffing on each other. Like last time we asked you, you said no, and you get Prepotente being like all sad and like, well, that was before I realized that I like having a family. And you guys are a family. Great part of the book. Um, back in like book 4, I want to say, when 4 had just came out and Conlon was reading book 5. Conlon and I had this discussion about what we thought was going to happen, and we had this fundamental disagreement that I was like, I if they go outside the dungeon, I don't think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna become too big. And he was like, what if the AI expands its borders and like the universe becomes the dungeon? And I was like, that's a stupid ass idea. And that's happening. And I'm adult, so I can say, Conlon, I admit that I am wrong, but I find it annoying as hell that you were right. Um, but like that's what we're doing, and he is doing it pretty well. I'm intrigued to see what he does. It does make me more hopeful that there's one book left, because we know we're wrapping it up. I think if we continue to expand and do all this kind of stuff, then it becomes way too much, and a fundamental different story and all that kind of stuff. So that's my review on book 8. Uh, Conlon, um, originally, when he was pre-reading this, he was like, the first half of this book is so much whatever. And then he finished reading it and he's like, this is fantastic. So I'm excited to see where Conlon lands with the audiobook and everything. So what you got?
Okay. This is my least favorite Dungeon Crawler Crawler book. It just is. This is the only one that felt like filler to me. And when I was reading the first half, I have to admit, like, Matt was very, very, very slow to start this book. Very slow. So we're doing Patreon for him, he usually writes a chapter a month if he's slow. And then sometimes he'll like drop a ton of chapters. It's not super even, but usually it's consistent with dropping something. He would drop a chapter and they wouldn't touch anything for 2 months. And then he would drop a chapter and then he wouldn't touch anything for 3 months. Like, it took a long time for this to start. And he was very slow with the beginning of this book. So I'm already kind of feeling like, okay, Donut has a cool fire spell. Cool. We've kind of seen that before. I don't care. I like Mad Max. Mad Max is something that I enjoy. And I was like, I've kind of seen Mad Max. I don't really care. And all of the he usually does a good job with the tropes. Like, you have the card system in book 7. And the card system was cool. Like, I like the way that he implemented it. With this one, with the car system, I was like, okay, you're upgrading the tires. It's okay. It's not bad. It's good. It's above average for books, but I just don't care. Get me to a story instead of kind of nothing. And then you have the Prepotente part where they go and they do the goats, and the goats realize that there's like an apocalypse coming and it's part of their religion. I was like, this is super interesting. This is the world building I want. This is interesting. And then you go back to the dungeon, and I honestly just didn't care that much. Like, it's not bad. It's solid. It's good. It's better than average, but I just didn't care that much. And that was most of the first half of this book for me. Even I've read it twice now and I've listened to it. I still kind of feel the same way. It's not bad. Still is solid. But then there's the conversation with Don where Carl is literally going through how the first part of this book is a trap, because you feel like you're just getting into the groove of things and you're going through another level, and it's totally fine. And it made me like the beginning of the book better, because literally the author called me out. All the stuff I was bitching about online, they were like, yeah, you got sucked into it. It still makes me feel like there's a lot of filler in the first half of this book that just didn't need to be there. It could have been cut out. But it made me appreciate the fact that he realized there was filler and that was a purposeful part of writing. Do I think that's a good choice? Not necessarily. Do I think it's cool? Yes, I can appreciate it. There's a lot of parts of this book that kind of felt like we've seen it other places and it's been done better. Okay, they're little now. Cool. We kind of got that with the whole giant dog thing, and I like that better. Okay, you have this race. Cool. Well, we kind of got that with the trains, sort of, and that was awesome. That was like just better. So I'm being pretty harsh on the book. I don't think it's bad. I think it's still well above average for writing, but it is definitely not my favorite. The ending of the book, when they're doing everything to get people to different floors, I thought was super interesting and very well written and very well thought out. I thought it was really cool. It was good. I thought it had some character development little bits to it that were interesting. Not enough of them, but interesting. And then you get to the very end, and the AI is doing this parade and kind of revealing everything. And I loved that part of the book. I thought that was great. And you get to the final climax of the book, and he's had a lot of great climaxes. But I'm like, Scalapendra's here? What the shit? And literally it ends. We were reading and we read the chapters, and he delivers that chapter where Scalapendra shows up. And I'm like, what is going on? This is awesome. And I texted both of you. I was like, this is insane. What is happening? And they do the pet biscuit thing. I was like, this is so cool. I have no idea where this is going to go. This is Matt Damon. This is why you are famous. Do more of this and do less of the first half of your book, because the first half of this book is not that good. I love the ending. I thought the ending was super interesting. I'm very interested in where it's going to go. I am also really happy that he has one book left, because it can't you can't push this out anymore. Like, if you want your series to be successful, you need to go to the end game. That's where we're at. I'm also giving it a 7, but it's mostly because I like the rest of the series as much as I do. I've read it 3 times now. I feel pretty confident in saying that this is definitely the worst of the books, but it's still well above the average thing that you're going to read. I debated giving it a 6.5. I can't do that, but I debated it. It's definitely my least favorite.
Yeah, I agree with you that I think this is like it's my least favorite, but I think it's necessary.
That's my problem with the first half of the book, is I don't think all of that is necessary. I think you could just cut some of that out, to be completely honest, and it wouldn't change a thing. And it's the only time in the series where I felt like you could just cut out some of the fluff, and it doesn't matter at all.
So even though we gave it the same rating, I'm just gonna argue. I do think it's necessary,
Okay.
right? Like, because things are so slow, Carl feels like things are so slow, and that comes up as a theme where he's like having to remind himself this isn't just another floor anymore. Right? I think because it feels like, okay, it's another floor. Okay, we have another theme.
Boss.
It's cars
We
this
have
time.
another
We're doing
theme.
Mario Kart. Okay, like, I do think it's on purpose. I agree this is the worst one in the book, but for me it's the worst one in the book because it's that reset. It's that, now that you know, what's the incentive to go back? And I feel like, to one of Lauren's points, she brought up that, like, oh, there's so many people that were like crying and stuff. There were times where I was like, Matt Dinneman is building up to something heavy. Like, we had Ellie talking about her husband, and I was like, okay, get ready, it's gonna hit, it's gonna do something crazy with this. And then he's like, and this person was a imposter, and everybody knew. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. And you have Dawn die, which actually, the Dawn scene's pretty good.
Well, all the crawlers dying is really well done. Donut killing 3 crawlers and not even feeling bad about it, right? Like, it's all because we have this reset. We're dealing with this new cast of characters. We're dealing with all of these changes that happen in the dungeon and what it means and all that kind of stuff. I do think it is necessary, because if you didn't have that slow burn, you wouldn't have the payoff. Right? I have the same argument with people who say, just skip the first hour and a half of, or hour and 45 of Rogue One. And then they go on to say, but the last 30 minutes is the best payoff of any of the Star Wars movies. And I'm like, it wouldn't pay off if you didn't have that beginning slower part. Either it's a good payoff and it's worth that slow bit, or it's not. You're having it both ways. That's how I'm viewing this one. You wouldn't have that payoff if it
I
wasn't that way.
disagree because I think we've had the build up. The payoff is a lot of like what's going on with the AI. Like that's a lot of what the payoff is. And we've had that build up for like 8 books.
But
I
we're
just don't
seeing
think
it
you need the
actually
first half of this
break
one.
in this one.
Yeah, but
Seeing
I
its
think
descent
the,
into control.
the interesting stuff is the part where it's breaking, and we've had the build up for that. The part that I don't really like is the typical dungeon stuff, which I usually would be super into, but I just kind of like was whatever. And I don't think that it increases the build up towards the AI delivery because we've already had that build up through a lot of other books.
But you're dealing with Carl too, right? That's what I'm saying is like the typical dungeon stuff is what makes Carl's payoff very good. The slow descent of the AI's self awareness and control and breaking and glitching happens methodically throughout the first part of the book, right? You don't just suddenly wake up and you're crazy. You see it start to glitch and glitch more and become more and more self aware and control things. And you see it start controlling things out of the dungeon and start killing people out of the dungeon and all that kind of stuff. So, like I said, I don't think it's worth a re listen to because we know what happens at this point. So the enjoyment of it isn't there. But is it necessary? Am I happy that he did it? Yeah.
What do you think, Lauren?
Of like the payoff.
The payoff and the necessity, like I'm genuinely curious what your thoughts are on that.
I think he could have done less heats of the races and still gotten the same point across. Um, so I'm kind of like halfway between you guys. Like, we still needed the races to happen, but I don't think you need like the 7 heats or whatever that he had. It could have been just like 3 or 4. I think that would have been fine.
Josh, did you like the gimmick of this one? Like, did you like the way he implemented the car system?
No, I wish it wasn't the car system. And I didn't
Okay.
like the card system either.
You didn't like the card system either. Okay.
No. I like what happened with it. Like I loved the Bedlam Bride. I loved the way that she infiltrated Carl, the way that she's still within Carl. But like the gimmick levels, I'm always like, I don't care. I
Okay.
even like Magic the Gathering, and I was like, I don't care that he's playing Magic. To me, it always feels like we've been building a way to play this game, and now we're playing a subversion of a different game for a chunk of it that stops you from progressing in the regular game. Like, games don't do that. Could you imagine if you were playing Skyrim and then it was like, for the next 3 hours, you have to play Magic the Gathering? No, you'd be like, what? I've been building my character. You want me to build my character around this temporary system?
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And that's the way I feel about it. It's like this temporary gimmicky stuff, I don't like it. I don't care for it. But that's not where I read Dungeon Crawler Carl. Like it's something that happens. Okay, fine. I would prefer more plot, right? I'd like more traditional fantasy. Like go back to playing Skyrim. If this floor was a Skyrim level and Carl was dealing with, NPCs and plots and things going on, but he was able to use his abilities the way that they were intended to be used because it was a traditional level, that would be my preference. I hate this, but like that changing of the rules temporarily does bother me, and it bothered me the first time too.
Cool. Lauren, I'm glad that you are an 8. For real. I was hoping you guys would like it more than I did. And I was hoping that I was a little bit blinded because of just how long it took me to read this one in particular. Um, yeah, that was still an enjoyable read. It's still good. I still have hope that the ending's going to be solid. Like, I still believe in the ending of this book series. He has had it planned for, I think he's had it planned since book 4, what he's doing for the end. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. Like I said, I view this as like a book 1, part 2, just because it is a change. Um, Still have hope. Still excited for the next book. We're gonna see
It,
what happens.
is your excitement down any?
No,
Okay, good.
because like
Good.
I said, I view that this was on purpose. I
Okay.
view it was a good thing. My enjoyment of it wasn't high, but like it was with intent. Um, so okay, I
Good.
think with that we're gonna wrap up this episode. Thank you everybody for watching and or listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about. We love suggestions. Next week we're gonna be talking about the secret life of Ariadne. I don't know if I'm saying that right. We're gonna watch it, and hopefully somebody says the title in the movie so I can know how to say that word. Remember to be better today than you were yesterday. Bye.
See you guys.